Alright, it looks like we're live, so hello, this is, my name is Lucas Flint. I am the, author of the Superhero Sun series, Capes Online, Man Wage Sidekick, and a whole bunch of other series, including the, series, which we'll be doing a live reading for today. Because yesterday, the newest VR Hero book, VR Hero number 3, Frameup, launched on Amazon. And so you can get an ebook, paperback, or hardcover. You can also get a Kindle Limited if you have a Kindle Limited membership. It's free with your Kindle Limited membership. So if you like to read your ebooks that way, so so aside from that, so like I said, this is the monthly reading of we're just gonna, for those who are already familiar, already know what I'm gonna do. For this is your first one, what I do basically is just read the first chapter of a book, and then I talk about my thoughts before and after it, and then if there are any comments or questions from the readers, I'll respond to those as well. And chat about the book, or about if you have any questions or anything. I won't get to those until after the reading is done, so if I don't immediately get to it, that's why. So anyway, Frameup, like I said, is the third book in the VR Hero Superhero Lit RPG series. In this book, we follow Busker Byrne, the protagonist of the series, as his friend and fellow bandmate Jumpeteer gets basically framed and banned from Capes Online by this hacker group, which has connections to Digitus, the main villains of the series. And so Busker's basically in this book trying to prove Jump's innocence. And so that's what this opening scene that we'll read about in the first chapter shows. So, yeah, I can see right here I've got the book up. This is the paperback interior, which you can see on. It's got the cool title page with the black and white version of the cover. That's one of my favorite things of these paperbacks for the VR Hero series, is that they all have these neat little black and white images like this. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna read it, and then y'all can, as I said at the end, I'll talk about it a little bit and answer any questions, and then yeah. So, all right, let me scroll down. Okay, so let's begin. Chapter 1. With the harsh stage lights beating down on him like the rays of the sun, Busker Byrne raced, his guitar picked into the air and brought down one final swift dive bomb. The sound exploded from the speakers on both sides of the stage, so loud that it probably would have rendered him deaf in real life. A loud hiss and crash behind him indicated that Jumpeteer, the drummer, had finished with the bang, while a sound of banging on the keyboard told that Hair Don't, the keyboardist, was just about done with hers. A final riff from Inspector, the bassist, closed them out, softer than Busker's dive bomb, but still quite loud. The audience, tens of thousands of players, mostly hero alignment, sitting in the stands around them, screamed in excitement. Their collective screams were even louder than the music created by the Digitals. Holographic signboards containing phrases like "We heart you, Busker" and "Digitals rock" flickered above the heads of hundreds of concert goers. Others hopped up and down in their seats, and one of the few shouted back how much they loved the band. Transparent hollow cams zipped and hovered through the air, live streaming the band's performance for the other 100,000 or so fans watching from home or in the real world. From Busker's HUD, he could see hundreds of positive comments being posted per minute, moving too fast for him to read. It made him grateful that SI Games, the company that built and maintained Capes Online, had hired moderators to keep up with the chat. Although Busker liked to think of himself as a decent multitasker, he couldn't rock out and respond to the hundreds of comments and likes that their live streams usually got at the same time. Wiping the sweat off his brow, Busker pulled the red-tipped microphone off of the stand. Although his fire shades made his vision slightly dimmer than normal, coloring everything with a crimson tinge, Busker had no trouble at all with looking out at the almost uncountable number of fans still screaming and shouting the names of him and the others in the band. Waving a hand, Busker said, his voice amplified to a ridiculous degree by the microphone, thank you, everyone. To both the fans who could make it in person tonight and to the fans who watch over one of our live streams, thank you. It would even be possible without the continued support of our awesome fans and viewers. The crowd exploded again, shouting happily at Busker, although Busker noticed their screams were significantly quieter again. A ping in his ear caused him to glance at a message he received from someone, which read, Hey, I turned up the volume. Thought you might need it. Tech Spec. Busker smiled. Tech Spec was not only his friend from high school, but also the official sound engineer for the digitals. Tech Spec was highly methodical in his work, but also nimble enough to respond to improvise. It made Buster glad they had managed to negotiate for Tech Spec as their stand engineer when he signed their initial contract with SI Games to play concerts for them, and invited him to join the band so Tech Spec would be in on their group chat. Looking at the audience again, Busker said, Okay, everyone, thanks again for attending our performance. You can buy merch at any of the tables on the way out, or go to the Cape Town Line bulletin board to find out the time, date, and location of our next concert. We're all so grateful for your support that we just can't say it enough. Right, guys? Busker looked over his shoulder at the other digitals. Inspector, the ghostly detective, stood a few feet away from him, his transparent features partially obscured by his hat. As usual, he wasn't smiling, although he did nod once to show his appreciation for the fans. That was a relief. Out of all of the digitals, Inspector was the one who seemed to have the hardest time adjusting to their newfound fame and struggled to interact with the fans in a way that wasn't creepy or awkward. Busker had only recently managed to convince Inspector to just thank any fans who sent him messages or fan mail. Inspector's subdued acknowledgement was a sharp contrast to Hair Don't, the keyboardist. She stood behind her keyboard, which went up to her waist, and waved enthusiastically and happily at the audience. Her ridiculously long blonde hair, which grew all the way past brilliantly under the warm spotlights, going well with her skin-tight white spandex costume that had scissor-like design on the front. She even blew kisses to the audience, which didn't surprise Busker. Despite her hesitancy about becoming famous, Hair Don't had adapted well to fame since their first concert, and now probably had more fan engagement than any of them. It helped that she'd also start a hair and fashion-focused hero TV channel, which had the added bonus of bringing over people who loved her fashion advice into the Digital's collective fan base. Then Busker's eyes slipped over to Jump, the drummer. Jump was the youngest of the Digitals, not even out of high school yet. Despite that, he had some serious talent for drumming and was easily the most enthusiastic. Jump had his own streaming channel, mostly to show off the fights and adventures they got into, although sometimes he'd do drumming streams. Busker fully expected Jump to do his usual impromptu drummer solo, which was always a fan pleaser. That was why Busker was confused at Jump's stoic expression. Jump was as still as a statue, holding both of his drummer sticks in his hands unnaturally straight. It looked like someone had hit the pause button on him, caught a glimpse of conflict, as Jump was fighting with himself. Busker was not the only one who noticed Jump's unnatural stillness. Hair Don't, who stood nearest to him behind her keyboard, looked at Jump with confusion and concern. Inspector, meanwhile, eyed Jump with skepticism. I thought Jump was trying to pull a prank on them, and he was waiting for the inevitable fallout. Yet Jump still did not move. He just sat there behind the drums, droplets of sweat slowly making their way down his face and neck into his costume, his hands gripping his drumsticks firmly. His sightless yet conflicted gaze stared straight ahead, resembling a deer caught in headlights more than anything. His lips trembled slightly like he was trying to keep himself from screaming. Then, without warning, Jump shook his head. His shoulders relaxed, and he lowered the drumsticks to his sides. He looked down at his feet, seemingly unconscious or maybe asleep. Jump? Said Busker. You okay, buddy? Then, just as abruptly, Jump looked up at Busker. His eyes no longer looked conflicted. Physically, he looked pretty much exactly the way he held himself seemed different to Busker. He sat up and held his drumsticks in a rather awkward fashion like he rarely used them. Actually, Busker, I'm fine, said Jump in a upbeat tone. I just got a little overwhelmed by the passion of this concert. The emotions, man, they were just too much. Busker's sixth sense immediately told him something was off. Jump's voice sounded exactly the same as usual, eager, excited. But the words didn't sound natural in his mouth. He almost sounded like someone trying to do a bad impersonation of him than the real Jump. Excuse me. Then again, I'm also exhausted from our performance, Busker thought. Maybe I'm just hearing things. Jump smiled, expression of a reasonable request, Busker thought to himself. He held out the microphone to Jump and said, Here you go, buddy. Tell the fans what's on your mind. I'm sure they'll be excited to hear it. Jump's smile changed when Busker said that. For a moment, his smile was almost evil. It was the kind of smile that Busker associated with villains who were happy their evil plans were going just as they thought. But then Jump's smile turned back to normal. He dropped his drumsticks onto the stage. Another oddity, because Jump always handled his drumsticks with care and made sure to put them up properly when he was done with them. That probably should have tipped off Buster something was wrong here, but his mind, exhausted from the concert, barely paid attention to that detail. Nor did he wonder why Jump walked so awkwardly toward him, not even jumping, which is, yeah. If Buster had been so exhausted, he might have been able to figure out what was going to happen next, maybe even put a stop to it. But he didn't. Buster simply handed the smooth-handled, slightly swaying microphone to Jump. Jump didn't think or even look at Buster when he took the mic, however. Holding the microphone so close to his mouth, he looked like he was trying to eat it. "Hello, Digitals fans," Jump said, his voice magnified well beyond its normal volume, loud enough for everyone to see him to hear, waving at everyone as he spoke. "Did everyone have a fun time watching us rock out tonight?" The crowd cheered and clapped their hands and stomped their feet, with more than a few yeses and yeahs rising above the chatter. It made Busker smile. He always enjoyed seeing the audience having a good time, and was glad that Jump was asking them how they were enjoying themselves. Fourth, a motion that Busker thought didn't look quite right on him. It occurred to him why. Jump never paced, ever, even when he was thinking. "So glad to hear that," said Jump, his feet moving swiftly across the wooden stage. "Concerts should be fun, and I'm glad that we're able to give you guys the fun you deserve, but, well, life isn't always fun and games, am I right?" The crowd chuckled at Jump's joke. Buster could see a few people in the front row elbow their friends and whisper something, probably something about how Jump's observation was dead on. Buster certainly couldn't disagree with him on that. Jump then stopped right in the middle of the stage, his back to Buster and the other Digitals, facing the crowd. "Pretty hard sometimes, but you know what's really hard?" "What?" the audience cried out with more than a hint of anticipation in their voices. Busker's also interested in finding out where Jump was going with this. He thought that Jump's impromptu stand-up was pretty out of character for him so far, but maybe Jump was trying something new. Tells him two things happened. The first is their ping in Busker's ear. Puzzled, he glanced at his notifications to see a message from Jump in its inbox. In fact, it was actually an email of all things, not a normal message sent through Cape's online message. "Hold on," Busker thought, glancing at the Jump saying before him. Is Jump sending me emails while talking to the audience? That's weird. Even weirder, the subject line of the email read, "Re-help," which only confused Busker even more. He decided to open the message immediately, but then the next weird thing happened. Still, his smart feature in glorious HD stage said, "Entertaining you losers. That's what's hard. Entertaining you simple-minded, pathetic fans who waste all your money on stupid BS like tickets to freaking digital concerts. I mean, seriously, how lame can you get?" The tone of the crowd changed as quickly as someone had flipped a switch. Went from interested, excited, and amused to annoyed, angry, and offended, with a hint of confusion tossed in for good measure. Heads turned as fans looked at each other in puzzlement, wondering if they had heard Jump right. Buster himself was too shocked to respond. He stared at Jump uncomprehendingly, wondering where in the world this had come from. The Jump he knew was a nice kid who would never insult anyone, especially in such a public, condescending way. Harry don't even clasped a hand over her mouth, while the inspector looked at Jump as if all his worst fears had come true. A ringing sound in his ear caused Busker to start. Textback was calling him, so Busker answered the call and said, "What's up? I just want to make sure that this was part of the show," said Textback over the phone, his voice dry and slightly worried. "Because I'm looking at the concert's program and I don't see viciously insult the paying customers anywhere on it." Can you cut the audio?" Busker whispered back. "Nope," said Textback. "I'm trying, but for some reason the sound system isn't responding. Give me a few minutes and I might—" "Idiot!" Jump bellowed, his voice dwarfing. "Seriously, I get paying big bucks for an actual, real, physical concert, but this is stupid. Video games aren't real life, people. Even if you live in a video game, it's still not real. You all have influenced us supporting a huge faceless mega corporation that doesn't give a damn about you." Buster gulped. Years of playing concert had given him a refined ability to tell an audience what's happening when they are unhappy. Right now, the audience could generously be described as pissed beyond all measure. They looked like they were planning to jump down from their seats and rush the stage. At the same time, hundreds of likes and comments they had received on their live streams had transformed into a deluge of hate. A few death threats to Jump, on a plenty of insults that usually got the comments were banned from the chat. Not that banning anyone caused the hate comments to slow down, however. If anything, they sped up, coming in faster and faster than the chat mods could keep up with. Okay, this is getting out of hand, Busker thought. I don't know what's gone into Jump, but I gotta stop him before he makes things even worse. Before Busker could do anything, however, Jump said, "But I'm not done yet, no. I have one final video to share with you all. Want to see it?" The crowd booed and hissed, and some people even started throwing fruit, hot dogs, and even a few shoes. Fortunately, the stand were far enough away from the stage that none of the projectiles even got close to the band, but Busker still didn't like seeing the crowd turn on them like this. Jump then laughed and said, "Happy birthday!" With that, Jump spun around, dropped his pants, and moved the audience. So there you go. That's the end of the first chapter of Frameup. I hope you found it interesting and entertaining. So, Yeah, the interesting thing about Frameup is that the idea for the plot, I mean, it's not really a spoiler to say that Jump was, like I said, he was hacked, so that's why he's acting completely out of character in this scene, um, because he was hacked by a hacker group that was trying to get it banned. The reasons for that, obviously, if you want to find out why they hacked him, you have to get the book and read it for yourself, but um, so I'm not going to spoil. What I'll say about this book is that the plot for this book about someone getting framed, their account hacked and framed and then banned, clear their name. Originally, that was the plot. It was the plot for the. I originally wanted to use this plot in the first Capes Online series. I was originally going to have Dillo get hacked in book 3 and then banned, and then Winter would have to figure out how to save Dillo, prove Dillo's innocence, get his account restored. But I never got around to using the plot, so I decided to use it in VR Hero instead. Because I just thought it would be interesting, since people hack. We see that all the time, in real life with people getting banned sometimes, or facing certain repercussions or whatever because someone hacked into their account and messed things up or did things that they weren't supposed to. So I thought, well, it'd be interesting to follow that in the story, in a story like this. So, yeah, like I said, I thought it was interesting. I'm glad it came out good, I did, but we'll see what y'all think. Like I said, if you want to find out what happens next, and head on over to Amazon and buy the ebook or the paperback or the hardcover, or get your Kindle Unlimited subscription and just download it that way. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So I don't see any. Let me refresh the chat real quick. Okay, yeah, I don't see any chats or comments in the chat or questions from readers or anything. So, so I guess that's about it for tonight. Then, if no one has anything to say, like I said, VR Hero number 3 Frameup just came out, and it's on Amazon, ebook, paperback, and hardcover. And if you haven't read the series, the previous 2 books are also available on Amazon, also an ebook, hardcover, and paperback. So you got your pick. So if you want to start reading, this is a good time to do so. So yeah, there are 2 more VR Hero books coming out this year. Order is coming out in October and Future in December. You can pre-order those. They're available for pre-order on Amazon as we speak. So yeah, that's all for tonight, I guess. The next video, the August AMA video, so that will probably be coming up sometime later this week. And then the next live stream will be, I haven't actually decided what it'll be in September, obviously. The exact time and date or which book I'm going to go over, or the first chapter from. I might just, I'm debating between First Job and the Player Blackout. I might just go with the Player Blackout since, that's the first book in the Capes Online series. And that's one of my favorite first chapters from a book I've written, but First Job's good too. But yeah, most likely the Player Blackout, I'm thinking, the first chapter of that. So yeah, that's like I said. So yeah, I'll get that going. Probably that'll be. I'm thinking September 2nd. Probably is what I think is when the next live reading will be. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, so that's all. That's all for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and like I say, if you want to